Are you trying to get your hands on the crystallization for your characters in the Fourth Descendant? Well, I got some great news for you because we just got ourselves a brand new farming method that's gonna give you this item super fast and easy. Today, I'm gonna be showing you how to get every single part of this so you can go ahead and get your crystallization made and get your character any more powerful. But with that, let's jump into this and let's discuss everything you need to know about farming fertilization. So to start off here, we need to get our hands on 5 different items, and we're just going to walk our way down the list. So let's go ahead and begin with the Mcky energy residue and how to get your hands on this item, since you are going to need 8 of these for the part. So what we need to do here to get our hands on that item, we need to do a dungeon, and the dungeon itself is found fairly early on in the game here with the Forgotten, and we need to go ahead and enter the dungeon. There are a couple things to keep in mind here. Is of course that you can do that privately, you can do that publicly. I do recommend doing this in private, doing it solo without you have friends that want to tag along to farm the item. The item will drop from a beginning boss. So realistically, if you want to farm it quickly, you get to the boss, kill it, exit out of the mission, and rinse and repeat to get how many you need for this item or any other item that will be unlocked by using the item in the future, or anything else you might want to get. But nonetheless, you do you. But ideally, I do recommend private, so you don't ruin anybody else one who are trying to do the dungeon. And when it comes to what difficult setting you want to play this on, it doesn't really matter hard or normal. This is 100% up to you. It seemed like you do get a little bit more on hard, but from my testing, at least doing it on normal, it seemed a little random how many you get. I done one, got 8 of them, did another, got 14. So just know your mile might vary here, but if you want to do it on hard and you end up getting how many, let me know in the comment. I'll be curious to know. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and do this on normal, start a private match, and we're just going to go ahead and jump on into this. And of course, we will come back once I get where the boss is. So once you're in the dungeon, just follow the main path. You have to go through that room so you won't miss this at all. But continue on to reach that room with the giant, I get stabby triangle tank. And what we want to do is, once we go ahead and hop over here, the boss itself will go ahead and spawn. And you will know the boss mainly because of the yellow HP bar over his head. So let's just go ahead and defeat him. You do not got to really worry about anyone else. He is the main enemy you want to defeat. But if you want to go ahead and clear out the enemies so they're not bothering you as bad, or maybe you just want to miss every single shot like I do in my Stormtrooper nest. Either way, you do you, and the item we want is a called White Heal. And by walking over it, we will go ahead and get my hands on this time 11 of the Mcky energy that we are needing. So from here, you can just go ahead and hit escape if you're on the keyboard and amount, and just return back to the main city. And once again, we won this up to that point however many times you want. Once again, that material is used for more than just the catalyst. But with that, let's go ahead and move into our second item we need to get. And for that item, we need to get our hands on the Bioil. This item is going to require you to make it a little bit farther into the main game. And I do recommend using Bunny for the farming method, just mainly because of the lightning AoE. But nonetheless, we need to go ahead and get 22 of these by heading on over to the Echo Swamp here. And what we need to go ahead and do here is take part in, of course, the enemy campment and capturing the campment. And you will know them, of course, by this symbol. If you go ahead and just bring up the map, you will notice the little triangle here with a question mark if you are in the zone itself. You will go ahead and see a time limit over these missions. And of course, we'll have the time limit for when it will respawn. So there's a little bit of waiting to happen here. But I do have a quick recommendation when it comes to this. And of course, that is go ahead and come over here on the left side of the map here. And you want to go ahead and hit up the teleportal so you can go ahead and one straight over the mountain from the farm point, and you will go ahead and make your way over to it, since it's literally just a white hill. And of course, when it comes to the other one, once this is done, or if you need to double check, maybe the time is a little off, you don't feel like waiting, the next one I recommend hitting up is a called White over here on the white side. And we're going to go ahead and hit up this teleportal right there. And from here, we are going to go from that teleportal right over the mountain. And of course, right over here, you will go ahead and find our other base for it to take part in. So I do recommend pretty much doing one of these and then teleporting to the other. And usually by the time you finish up this activity, of course, the next one will go ahead and spawn. So just a quick note here to just pretty much one back and forth between two. And you want to go ahead and do the activity, which is called blowing up generators. And once you go ahead and do that, you will go ahead and get a bot to spawn that will go ahead and have the item need. So now that I've done, of course, yellow enemy is the one we need to defeat here. So if we go ahead and defeat him, he will go ahead and drop the item we need to pick up. So let's go ahead and grab it, and right there it is. And I just got 11 of these. Once again, this is a little random as far as how many you will get. You are guaranteed to get the drop no matter what. It's just how many you get is an L. But once again, once that is done, we're just going to go ahead, head to teleportal, head back over here, and we're going to go ahead and do this again at the net base. And once again, do it, beat the ball, get the item, and then teleport back to the other one since we just did that. And we go ahead and only got about 3 minutes here. So once again, just a little time consuming, a little bit here going between these, but nonetheless, one this a few times and you go ahead and get your hands on this item. So when it comes to our next item, we need to get our hands on Mixed Energy Residue. This item is going to have a few ways to get our hands on this, but the most easier way do involve doing a mission, which is the main way I'm going to be showing. But just know this item, since it have recently changed in the patch that just went live at the time of the video, you can now also get it thanks to a special ability that Enzo have. So just know if you already have Enzo, you can get this done so much more faster. If you haven't bought him or farmed him, they're going to be a little more time restricted when it comes to how fast we can do this. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into how to get item. Any of you don't have Enzo unlocked. So what we need to do here is head on into the desert, and we need to go ahead and hit up the spawn point here. But let's just go over real quick how to get one of the items if you have Enzo. So once you spawn here, if we go ahead and one straight and one over here toward the mountain on the left side, and just pretty much stick to the wall, you will go ahead and find a little hole that you can go ahead and jump down. And if we go ahead and follow the path down a bit, and over here on the right side, we will go ahead and find ourselves a vault. And this here, as you probably have already realized with Enzo, you can go ahead and just open these. If you don't have them unlocked and you have yourself a code analyzer, you can go ahead and hit A and this. And from here, we're going to go ahead and do a small little mini game, which is called hitting two-finger controller left trigger on mouse and keyboard. I'm not 100% for sure, but pretty much do that little quick time event. And once you have it unlocked, you will go ahead and get your hands on some of the items. And there you go. Once you have it, you will go ahead. In my case, I just got 10 of these, so I'm pretty much good to go. Once again, you will need the items if you don't have Enzo. If you have Enzo, you can go ahead and do this, do the mini game, and get the item itself. But let's just go ahead and say you do not have Enzo and you do not have any of the item to unlock vaults. Let's go ahead and talk about the quest. So when it comes to the mission itself, there are a couple we can go ahead and take part in. As you can see, it also a couple more vaults you can also find in the desert. But when it comes to the quest itself, we can go ahead and do a few of these in the desert. That does have a chance to drop one of the items. Once again, just know doing the little vault mini game we just did is the fastest way to get it. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into any of the quests that you want to do. But ideally, for me anyway, I want to go ahead and do the quest that is literally a white net to, well, we end up finding in. And we're going to go ahead and hit up the quest right here, since this also have a chance of dropping a the item. And also, once again, the white net to the teleportal. So let's go ahead and begin the quest. And from here, all we need to do is, of course, take out some of the enemies that we will go ahead and find all the way out here. And we just need to eliminate them. So, pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and do that. And when we take out a few of the enemy, we are just going to go ahead and stand in these circles and destroy each of the pillars. So as you can see, this mission does take a little bit longer than it does if you just go the way of hacking one of them vaults. But once again, this is a option. But to keep in mind, if you don't get the item, that is because doing the quest way is 100% RNG. And if you want to go ahead and see a video breaking down how to farm some code breakers so you can break into the chests, as well as every single location available, that video will be coming up next. So make sure to do thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells so you don't miss out on that video when that comes here very, very soon. But nonetheless, let's go ahead, let's hop into our next item. And for our next item, we need to get our hand on Advanced Nor Brain Juice Tank, and we need 18 of these. Lucky enough, this one is not RNG heavy like the last item, and very much guaranteed and a lot more easier to do. So what we need to go ahead here and do is head on over to White Knight Gorge. And of course, you can go ahead and find it right over here. Once again, I'm going to have to go through the story a bit to get this zone unlocked. But once it unlocked, we can go ahead and hit up either one of the teleportal. And we need to head and do this quest right here with the Forgotten Calm device. So let's just go ahead and one on over here, because what we need to do is we need to take part not only in the quest, but at the very end of the quest, there will be a boss that we need to go ahead and take care of, and they are the one that will have the item we need. And let's just go ahead and begin the quest, and let's go ahead and get us some brains. So, to follow the marker, defeat some enemies, you know the routine at that point. So, I will be back when we get to the boss. And when we get a little far into this, as I almost died, like always, we will go ahead and find our yellow enemy here, which is our boss. So let's go ahead and take him out. And he will be the enemy that will go ahead and drop the item we need for this collection here. So as he dies, the mission will be completed. And like always, you will find it literally right here with the purple little, I guess, metal glue looking thing. So let's go ahead and grab it. And just like that, I got 3 of the brains. Once again, playing on normal, you might get a little less, might get a little more on hard. So I do recommend hard if you are able to do it. But nonetheless, you can totally do this on normal. And once again, it's a little random as for how many you actually get here. But once you have won this a few times, you will go ahead and have enough to move on to our next item. And for our last item, we need to get our hands on the Crystallization Catalyst Blueprint. This is going to have a few steps to it, but the most easiest and guaranteed way to get your hands on this, and head to a Kingston, and we need to go ahead and go up here to the top of the map, and we can go ahead and go from the teleportal to this quest. You can also take on the quest back in the main hub if you want, but nonetheless, this is the quest we are looking for with the Sunbread Village. And so we need to go ahead and head on over there. And then once we are there, we can go ahead and break down what we need to do to actually get the item we are looking for. So, like all the rest of these, it doesn't matter, normal, hard, you do you. I'm of course doing this on normal, and we're gonna go ahead and just start a public match here because the thing is about this dungeon. We will go ahead and get a very specific item here with a 003, and we want this item, and this item will drop from the final boss within the dungeon. So let's just go ahead, one through the dungeon, defeat the boss, and we will go ahead and go from there. And now the boss is healed, so let's go ahead and take him out. You will know it him because he got the multiple life pods. And pretty much, if you have a bunny, you know what to do. Pretty much do laser, do some jumping, and just like that, he will go down. And let's go ahead and collect all the items he is dropping. And the main item we are looking for here is, of course, this bad boy right here with number 3. As I said, it pretty much a guarantee a drop. And the main reason we are doing this quest is since it's one of the very first dungeons you do. It is super low level, guaranteed drop. And in return, you can get through it fairly quick for the most part. You're looking at probably less than 5 minutes of one, and we're going to get our hands on this. So once we got our item, what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and head back to the city because we need to go and fight a very specific boss that will give us the ability to break open the item we just got. That will give us a chance at getting the item we need for our catalyst. So let's go ahead, let one on over to the NPC that will handle the boss battle, origin quests, or whatever you want to call it. And once again, we're going to go ahead and do normal. And we need to go ahead and go to the very first boss in there. So this is the level 10 boss on normal. And of course, we're just going to go ahead and begin a public match. Honestly, it probably doesn't matter one way or another here. I just do public because it's faster, having more people. But once again, this is literally blink and you miss it type of boss, especially if you are a max level and you have a fairly decent equipment. But nonetheless, we're just going to go ahead, head on in here, and we're just going to defeat the boss, which will take all like 5 seconds. So let's be honest, it's probably longer for him to zone in than it is for to defeat him. So let's go ahead, open file, and try not to blink because, well, he is already dead. So from here, of course, he will drop some items. So go ahead and collect them because, you know, items are items and, you know, they are well and other items here can be gotten. But nonetheless, the main reason we are here is not specifically for the item, but the machine he drops when he died. Because from here, we can go ahead and activate this, and we will get a list of all the material we can open up from him. So once again, we want to go ahead and do number 3, and you will see here we have a 15% chance of getting the item we need. So as you can see, you're gonna have to run this probably a few times without you get extremely lucky and get a 4th try, or you have one of these shapes that will bump up the chances. But nonetheless, 15%. So let's go ahead, open that bad boy up and see if we get lucky. And of course, I did not because I got a weapon mod or weapon blueprint, I should say. So in this case, since I already have a handful of the items, we'll keep wanting it to either I get the item or I want out of the item. And when that happens, if I do want out, we will head back to Kington, farm at that dungeon again to get our hands on any more of the items. So let's say you got all the items needed for this. So what we need to do from here is something some of you probably very familiar with. We need to go ahead and head over to the NPC that will be for crafting the item. So we need to go on over here, talk to her, and we need to go ahead and begin our crafting process. So let's go ahead and research, go to enhance material, and from here, find the catalyst. And sadly, in my case, I am missing the item we were just talking about, but nonetheless, let's go ahead, head on in here, and if you do have every single item, you will go ahead, hit research, and this item will go ahead and take you 7.5 hours to make it, as well as charging you 187,000 gold, which is nothing. Gold is like, you blink and you have millions, as you can see. I have 4 right now, and that route really heavily trying at all. So you can go ahead, get it going, and come back in 7.5 hours and pick up your catalyst. And there you have it. That and how you go ahead and farm your catalyst fast, easy, straight to the point, and being able to do it fairly semi early on in the game itself, as well as how to do it on normal and hard. Once again, doing it on hard might bump up some of the chances, as well as giving you more of the item. But as you can see, any doing it on normal is 100% doable. So hopefully you have found this breakdown helpful and one way or another for a beginner guide to the Fourth Descendant. So if you have enjoyed or found it helpful, be sure to do thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bell. Come on over. Twitch.tv/TroyMacon, where we stream every single night starting around 8 p.m. Central, playing all the MMO, First Descendant, and a whole bunch of retro stuff as well. So come on over, say hello, and like always, that's going to do it for me, but I will see you in the next video. Also, we can't forget about in the comments. Yes, I'm going to be in the comments as well. Either way, see you down there. Bye.